If you're trying to build a loyal cult-like authority following, people love you, like rah, like your audience gives you all the love you give them back, the more you zoom in, the more invested they are with you. The more you let them in, the more in they come. If you're very zoomed out all the time, it's a more professional relationship. It's more like, yep, she's cool, but they're not obsessed. They're not all up in it because we're not letting them be all up in it. Just something to think about. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back to the podcast. Okay, listen. This episode is so juicy. It is one of the top questions that I get when it comes to showing up online, when it comes to being vulnerable, when it comes to keeping it raw and real. And if you've been rocking with me for a little while, back in the day, you know, like this is literally how I built my whole brand. Authenticity. This is the precursor to authenticity, what we are talking about in today's episode. If you have struggled with showing up authentically, if you're not sure how much is too much, if you're unclear, if you are oversharing, trauma dumping, sharing too much, right? Like looking unprofessional versus being vulnerable, being authentic, being raw and real. This episode is going to teach you exactly how to get that balance. And let me tell you what, it is a very thin balance, right? You can't be one way or the other. We really need to find a way to be able to be who we are, who we came here to be, authentically ourselves, while protecting ourselves, not sharing too much. For those of you that work in the coaching or life coaching or healing space, trauma dumping, being a victim, being a hot ass mess. I'm a hot mess express still, but I've got my shit together when it comes to not caring what people think about me, owning my confidence, building a brand, my content, like all of the stuff I teach, I've got that stuff together. However, it wasn't always that way. And so I really love when people take me behind the scenes as to what they went through when I'm moving through something similar. And that's what the whole point of this podcast, as you know, is, and all my life lessons series. And I get the question a lot. I just did a workshop, a masterclass on personal branding. And one of the questions was like, but wait, how do you know you're sharing too much? Am I oversharing or am I not sharing enough? Usually, I could say this from my years of experience, usually, not always, but usually, if you're asking that question, I believe you're not sharing enough. It's a fearful question. It's like, oh my God, I'm oversharing. What if someone thinks I'm unprofessional? What if someone thinks this? What if my mom hears it? What if my uncle hears about it? Whatever. It's usually a question because there's a fear and we're scared to be seen, even though we deeply want to be seen. We're scared for people to think things about us that are out of our control. Hear me say that, and it's wild because that's literally your whole life. People are going to think things about you that are out of your control. But for some weird reason, when it comes to showing up on the internet or putting ourselves out there, like a podcast or a book or speaking on stage, we think that we actually can shift the way people think about us. We cannot. But I get that it feels very scary. I also believe that we're worried about making sure that we are, yes, relatable, but hold on a minute, I'm a professional. And so how can I let you in? How can I tell you things without losing my professionality, without losing my credibility, right? Like my credibility, my all of that. And so I wanted to break this down because I feel like it was something that I really needed to try to figure out to share with you here today because as I said, I in the beginning, I just did this. I had nothing else, girl. Like I was at my wit's end. We had no money. I had 2 kids under 2. I was sitting on this vision, on this dream. It was like I was stuck in a life and in a body that I did not want to be in. I was like, how the hell did I end up here? I knew how I ended up here, but I was like, how the hell did I end up here? This cannot be all there is. This desire, this dream, this wanting to help women, this drive that I could feel pulling me out of my mom clothes and my breast milk pajamas and my exhaustion and my brokenness and my just, it was a turbulent time, but I could feel my vision pulling me out of it, being like, there's more. You're meant to do more. And so at that time, and you guys have heard the story if you've been here for a little while, 2017, 2018, I couldn't do anything else. There was no AI how there is now. Instagram wasn't anything like it is now. We didn't have TikTok. We had something else. It was called something else. We didn't have like YouTube. People that knew YouTube were doing YouTube, but it was kind of starting for me. The podcast, again, it was a great time to get into podcasting. So I had nothing to lose. And I just kept getting yelled at by Gary Vee. And I'm like, girl, you got to do this. And so I remember telling my husband one day, I am so tired of pretending. I'm so tired of being fearful of what people think. I'm so tired of people at work watching me and asking me why I'm doing stuff on the weekend, why I'm ending up on the newspaper or the TV. Because like media stuff was happening for me back then, even though I was working a 9 to 5. Like I'm so tired of everything like that. Like I was just so fearful, walking around scared of people like judging me sounding a certain way, me getting canceled, all this shit. Like old me is the opposite of me right now. She was so scared of everything. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, go ahead and cancel me. I don't give a shit. I've done some crazy shit in my life. I'll own it. I'll talk about it. I don't give a damn. Like, that's not about to hold me and hold my tongue from saying what I came here to say and being who I came here to be. But old Erica, she was petrified. And so if you're listening to this, I just want to acknowledge that it can feel very scary to open yourself up on the internet to strangers and or family that follow you and watch you, or people from work when you're trying to build your side hustle. Like, I hear you and I see you and I get it, and you can do it and you must do it so that you can break free from the fear and the worry of what other people think about you. So first things first, I did this when I first started, as I said, and I truly believe to this day that it is the thing that built my incredible fan base. I'm talking people who rock with me. Like, they will travel around the world with me. They'll come to my book signings. They'll buy my book as when it first pre-sale opens. They will DM me. They will voice message me. Like, they're just ride or die incredible people. And I'm very grateful if that is you. Thank you for being here with me for so many years and commenting and messaging me and listening and sharing my show. And just thank you so much. I don't take you for granted. I know that it's a lot of shit coming at you, especially now in today's day. We all have ADHD, right? Like, we're all like stimulated as hell. Our nervous systems are fried. We're drinking coffee. We're running around with kids, aging parents, running businesses, trying to build social media. Fucking social media is changing every 5 minutes. We're trying to do all the things. And so the fact that you listen to my show and that you're here with me, like, I can't tell you how. Thank you. Bless you. I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I truly believe that those that were rocking with me from the beginning is because my nose gets so itchy when I start talking. I did a podcast yesterday and my whole shit was itching and I just was scratching it and talking and I didn't care. I don't want to do that today. Okay. Like, I'm gonna have to pause this tape. Anyway, authenticity. The good thing about when you can keep it raw and real in your brand is that when things go wrong and you have to sneeze and you have to cough and you have to scratch your nose or you have to drink water, you do that shit. You don't have to edit. Like, I don't have a podcast editor that's cutting out every sneeze and everything I say and, oh, you messed that up. Do I cut that out? No, I had someone before and I used to tell her, like, why did you cut all that out? Leave that shit. I'm a human. I'm a normal human filming this shit live right now. There's air conditioning on. I'm in my home studio. I got 2 kids that are home. Somebody might run in. Like, I don't want to be this perfect fucking person because you can't relate to that shit. You're like me. You're a normal person. Normal things happen to you. Your nose gets itchy. You scratch that shit. You sneeze. You sneeze. My sneeze is very loud though. So I do have to cover the mic because it's loud. But like, me doing that is not me trying. I'm not trying to be a normal person who sneezes and has an itchy nose. I'm not trying to be relatable. I'm actually just allowing you to see me how I am. And I'm okay with you thinking things about me that I should have edited, that I should have done this. You know, in my podcast, there was a year where I was only podcasting in my car. There was the first year and a half. A lot of episodes of me in my car and the audio was terrible. Like, I didn't care about the audio because I wanted to speak. The podcast was for me to get my message out to whoever was out there. I honestly didn't think anyone was listening. I didn't build it because I wanted 50 million downloads in the first. I was like, I got shit to say to you, girl. Listen up. Are you out there? So I would just talk to her. And I would talk in my car. My beeping thing, my toll was beeping because we didn't have any money. We weren't paying that shit. My kids was in the back. Sometimes my son would like, blah, 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 you know. He wouldn't cry and stuff, but he would just have a chat and talk. And then I would just be like, these hoops, same fucking hoops, girl. New set, but same hoops. I would have my Apple headphone thing and it would clink, clink, clink. And just, I don't know. That's all I could do. And a lot of us are like, I can't do this and I can't do this and I can't do this. And I'm like, well, what can you do? Focus on what you can do and do that shit. So I was like, what I can do is I can drive around in my husband's car with my Apple headphones and I can talk and I can share and I can expand and I can discuss and I love talking. It is the way I channel everything. And so I'm a massive communicator. So that's what I did. And then before I know it, our podcast is number 6 in Australia for mental health. What? what? And this podcast editor girl was like, hey, P.S., your audio sucks. I don't know how the hell you're number 6, but girl, you are. People are listening to your show. Congrats. Also, what the fuck with your audio? And I was like, wait, what? We're number 6? What? And then it freaked me out, which sucks that it freaked me out, because then I was like, oh my God, I need a microphone. I need But to be honest, at this point in time, we were like close to 1 million downloads. It is time to get serious. You do need better artwork for your cover, Erica. You probably should get a microphone. Maybe don't be driving around. Maybe sit down and have a chat and think about what you're going to say, and then still have your acapella on the fly. I don't know what that was. Podcast that you want to do, right? Like, okay, cool. Like, that's fine. Let's do that. But I feel like me being who I was and only doing what I could do in the time allowed me to be real and raw because I had to be. I didn't have anything else. I was at my wit's end. Like, that was it. And so it's sad that I had to keep it raw and real because we were dead broke. I was trying to build my business. I wanted a community and I had nothing else. And I honestly felt like I could do nothing else but be me. I was against the wall. And I don't want that for you. I don't want you to be broke. I don't want you to be exhausted. I don't want you to be, burnt out. I don't want you to be like, I have no money. I have nothing else to do. But if I'm honest, that helped me. Like, maybe that has to happen. Maybe that's what we all need, is to get to your end where you have to do it, where you can't doubt yourself, where you don't have the privilege to doubt or question or fuck around. Maybe it needs to get to the point where you're like, yo, I have to show up or that's it. They're going to take my house, or I'm not going to be able to put food on the table. I don't know. Some of us need some firecrackers in our culo and rocket ship up your ass. And others, you listen to a podcast and you're like, I hear you, Gary. All right, I'm doing it, right? I needed the rocket ship up my culo. I was one of those people. Okay, so if that's you, high five. I see you. So in the beginning, I was sharing my current reality. I was sharing that I had a child. I was sharing that I really wanted to build a podcast and that I wanted to have really nice video and audio and a microphone and nice hair and makeup like Marie Forleo. I was like, oh, I would love a studio. I would love that. But right now I'm in my husband's car. The camera is shaking. You can hear the muffler. My kid's in the back. I'm overweight. I don't look good. I don't have my makeup on. I'm a hot ass mess. But one day I want to do that Marie Forleo shit. And I said, I want you to see my process of becoming. And I'm telling you now, if you are starting out, if you are not who you want to be in the future yet, if you are not making the money you want to make yet, if you don't have the audience you want yet, if you're like at the starting level, or if you're building, record yourself. Share that you're building. Tell us what you're doing. Share every part of the building phase, even if you just record it and you don't share it yet. Because you having that story, that process of becoming is what I call it. It's the journey of becoming. And you sharing that and being willing to document that process and share that with someone is all the authority and credibility you need. People have watched me go from broke as hell, exhausted breastfeeding on the couch with no money, working for L'Oreal on the side from home while I try to do events and sell $97 a package of 3 coaching fucking sessions. People saw that. And then those same people watched me walk off the TEDx stage. And those same people watched me sign the Penguin book deal. And those same people watched me interview Gary Vee on my podcast and Byron Katie on my podcast. Like, what? That you can't buy that authenticity. You can't buy that credibility. You can't buy that following and journey and audience experience where you're loyal and you connect with them and you take them with you behind the scenes and you share shit with them. My audience was with me when I heard a song. Oh fuck, this song was horrible. If I could find the video. I heard this song, Alicia Keys and Sempaf, I think his name. I can't say his name. But anyway, 3-hour drive. Ruined me. That song, I think about it now, I get emotional. That song ruined me. That song fucked me up so bad. And I heard it and it reminded me of my husband who passed away. And I had a whole fucking moment live on Instagram for like 2 weeks talking about my husband's death and this and that. And then how I reunited with my dad after 20 years and my mom and dad connected and we did a podcast. And like, I opened everything and I still will. Things will happen. I told y'all on the podcast just a few episodes ago that one of my sexual abusers in my first foster home emailed me. And what that did for me. And I was like, whoa, like, I don't have it together. Like, I'm seeing my therapist about that shit. But I want to tell you this because why wouldn't I? Like, this is my journey and my story and my business. This is the work I do. You have a very similar life to me. You're a woman. You've got shit going on. You don't know how to handle your confidence issues or being a mom or running a business or building a personal brand or showing up online. Like, you got to deal with all your past and your trauma, and you got to show up authentically. And I've been able to do that. And I learn that, and I educate myself in therapy with Gabor Mate and coaching. And this is my job and my business. Why the fuck wouldn't I tell you about my experience and self-disclose? You resonate with me. You're my person. I'm not doing this podcast for some dude that works at Wall Street. I don't have any fucking experience with that. That's not what this podcast is for. I'm not doing this podcast to tell you how to be the best macros tracker and fucking fitness expert. That's not what I do. I'm not telling you how to be the best mother in the world. That's not what I'm skilled at. I'm trying my best. I'm talking about what I know. So why would I not take you behind the scenes of how I built what I know? Because you might be in one of those steps of my building. That might be where you are. So you might be like, holy shit, I resonate with that. And then I trust you because you're metaphorically naked. I will get metaphorically naked on the internet. That's what I do. Look at me. See me. You see it? Okay, let's go. You trust me? Okay, I see you. I feel you. Vamos, let's go. As opposed to, I'm so perfect and polished and manicured and I'm so far away from where you are. I have no idea where you are. But anyway, you should follow me and come with me where I am. Bitch, I feel so disconnected. What is the quote that I used to say? Perfection erodes connection. Vulnerability builds connection, builds community. It makes you want to come closer to me because you feel like you relate to me, because you do. But how will people know they relate to you, my friend, if you don't want to tell them, if you're too worried about it? So instead of hiding the things that you're worried about, instead of trying to be polished and perfected, what if you owned it and you talked about it? Now you're probably thinking, wait, but Erica, how much do I talk about it? How close do I give them? How much do I let them in? Thank you for the question. Two things. You can zoom out of your current reality. I'm going to give you an example I gave to a CEO who I was coaching. I did a private work with. She's a massive CEO, global company. She is not about to be like, anyway, so, I don't know, like I was in my car breastfeeding my kid and then my husband died. She's not going to do the shit I'm doing. It's not her vibe. And that's okay. You don't have to be open, airing your dirty laundry like me. I love that shit. That's good for me. I own it and I love it and it's true and it's real for me. If it's not real and true for you, don't do that. So my client over here, what I told her was we need to zoom out. So there was a story she wanted to share on stage, a keynote about her father. And I think that her father either was an alcoholic and died of cancer or something inappropriate that she wasn't about to share with the world. And guess what? The world doesn't need to know that shit. It's nobody's business but hers. And so she gets to choose and you get to choose how close, how far. So that was her story by her dad. And it's like, how the fuck do I share that? How do I be vulnerable? But I want to be vulnerable, but how do I be professional? And so we zoomed out. I call it zooming out. Here's how it sounds. Last year, I had a really tough year. My dad got really unwell and it impacted my entire family. It was really hard to watch him be so sick. It was one of the toughest years of my life. And what it taught me was boom, boom, boom. Lesson. My dad was really unwell. He was sick. It was really hard. One of the toughest years of my life. I don't need to tell you how he was sick or why he was sick or what happened. My dad passed away and it was really difficult. It was a hard time. That is so zoomed out. That is so generalized and out there. Easy. You could be the president and say that shit. No problem. I would probably be like, so for 20 years, my dad has an issue with alcohol. He's been an alcoholic all my life. And unfortunately, didn't want to listen to it, blah, blah, blah. Finally came where he got a diagnosis. And unfortunately, blah, blah, blah. And it sucked because I would always blah, blah, blah. Now I'm telling you my story about my dad. Some people don't like to get too close because they feel like, that's not my story. I can't talk about my father. He should talk about himself. But I talked about my husband and my husband's death. And do you think my mind was like, what about his mom? What about his sister? What about his brother? What are they going to think? Of course I felt that. But then I had to remember that my story is my fucking story. My way of seeing it is my story. That's mine. Nobody knows what I went through in my marriage. Nobody knows what I experienced when he passed away. Nobody knows. I know. So I have the right to share what I went through and how I felt and how I saw it and what I know. I am not about to tell somebody else's story. Of course not. But mine? Do you know how many widows have reached out to me since sharing the fact about my husband? It makes me emotional. So many widows have reached out to me and still continue. I had someone a week ago message me and say, hey, I heard about your husband passed away. My husband just died 3 years ago. I'm still lost, blah, blah, blah. If I could just at least be like, hey, you're going to get through this. Hey, I see you. Hey, you're not alone. It's fucked up. And something good will come from this. I promise. Not now, but maybe later. And I promise this is not for nothing. And I promise that I can tell you that you're not on your own. Whatever. I don't know why. But if I don't talk about it, that person feels alone. When I know I have the story and the universe is hilarious because it literally went, Erica Sepulveda Kramer, whatever it is now. Here you go. Here's all this shit. Here's all these stories and all these fucked up things that happen and all these great things as well. So you're going to be super relatable, Erica. I literally have crazy stories from every angle you can imagine, so I can relate to so many people. I believe that I got given this life, this fucked up shit that happened to me as a kid, as an adolescent, as a woman still, because I need to heal it, alchemize it, work with it, and then share it out. I believe that. 100% I believe that. I don't think poor me, my bad life, God hates me, my life is so fucked. That's how I used to think when I was in my victimhood. 100%. But I just started doing my healing and spent all that money and all those years, 8 years I spent on myself. I didn't give a shit about anybody else. In those 8 years, I wasn't trying to coach nobody. Some of y'all want to be coaches and you start working on yourself and 2 months later, you're like, I'm going to become a life coach and help people. I'm like, baby, stop. Why don't you keep helping you? I don't think 2 months. Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper so that you can really own this shit. Now I can tell my clients, I have burned in the flames, my friend. I have the scars. So if you're burning, I see you. I got you. I understand. I don't know exactly what you're going through because I'm not you, but I can resonate with a lot. And I think it's a beautiful skill. And why would I not share that? So back to the question of how close do we get? That's one, zoom out. You are allowed to zoom out. You don't ever have to zoom in. I zoom in all the way in. I am like micro zoomed in times 12. Okay? Like the main zoom in that the camera does all the way down. Microscopic. You don't have to. But what I will tell you is zoomed out keeps people at an arm's length because you're zooming out. It's just natural. They're not that close to you because you're not letting them get that close. That's fine. They're not that close to you. You're not letting them get that close. Cool. Fine. Cool. And you're allowed to. That's it. They're zoomed in. Zoomed in is what I do. Zoomed in is letting people into your life. And now how we do this, very important. There's this old story. It's not mine, so I can't claim it. And I don't know who said it. I apologize. But there's a story about the scar and the wound. So I have a scar here and it's healed. And you can see the scar line. This is fake. I don't have one. But other scars. There's a scar and it's healed and you can see it. Actually, I'll give you a better example. Down my back, I have a 6-inch scar. And I had back surgery. I had a fusion when I had a car accident drinking and driving with my husband who passed away. And it's a healed scar. My back is strong. I be deadlifting, bitch. I'm strong. My back is good. But you could see that shit. It's there still, right? Along my spine. Now, I can talk to you about that scar and the accident and learning how to walk again and how difficult it was. I can talk to you like this, no emotion, because that shit's a scar. It's been a scar for a long time. If I was to talk to you the day after I woke up, where my scar is cut open and it's a wound and it's bleeding and it's got bandages that are bleeding and I'm on the bed, the conversation I'm going to tell you is a different conversation to me today, talking from the scar versus talking from the open cut wound, trauma dumping. I haven't healed my own shit and here I am telling you about it. I can't tell someone something I'm currently raw and going through. So if you're currently going through something and it's raw, it's an open wound, it's bleeding, it's pussing, it's scabbing, whatever, it's not healed. Sorry to give you the visuals. Do not discuss, do not talk about, do not bring to the internet. You got a scar, beautiful scar. You could talk about it. You could talk about it. It's healed. There's no crazy tension there. It's not open. It's not bleeding on someone else. And I love that analogy because many of us want to tell our story, but it's an open wound. And you're like, girl, you got to tell that story to your therapist. Don't tell that story on stage when you start bawling your eyes out crying. Then it's like, are you okay? I watched a woman once on stage at International Women's Day tell her story. She was not okay. Like the coach therapy in me was like, is she all right? Like somebody needs to be with her after she gets off the stage because she just opened up on the stage to a room of 1,000 people. And all of us were like, shit, she's not okay. She had not told that story. She wasn't ready to tell public people that story. That's a story for her therapy session. And when you're healed, you can zoom out a bit more. Or you know where to zoom in, it doesn't hurt you anymore. So I zoom in microscopic. You don't have to go microscopic. You could say something like, last year was really difficult for me. Or right now I'm navigating a lot of discomfort. I'm trying to figure out, am I good enough? Can I do this? I'm worried. I'm about to walk on the TEDx stage and I'm asking myself these questions. But guess what? It's normal. And it made me want to practice my TEDx more. It made me want to get a TEDx coach and and this. And here's the thing. You're never too good to get support and get coaching and get mentorship. There I am talking to my audience about how I'm a confident speaker, yet I'm still scared and I hired someone to help me with my TEDx because I'm so fucking petrified of the TEDx stage. Does that make sense? It doesn't make me look like I don't know how to speak. It doesn't make me look like I'm a dumbass and I shouldn't have got my TEDx. It makes me look like a normal person who got given a TEDx, who's always wanted to do it but has always been scared about it. And now I'm telling you what I'm doing to fix the fear, and I'm empowering you to believe that mentorship and hiring coaches and getting someone to help you when you don't know how to do it yet is awesome. So I'm sharing a lesson with you. And actually, it's a sub lesson because I'm a coach and mentor. And hopefully, if you like me, you'll be like, actually, Erica, fuck, I should hire Erica and work with Erica. It's a sub lesson. Like, there's so many layers. So when you get really good at this, the number one thing that I want you to think about always, and if you're listening and you could write this down, write this shit down. Intent. What is your intention in sharing? Is your intention to be victimhood so that people feel sorry for you? Don't do it. Is your intention to piss a bunch of people off and rage bait on the internet and get into fights with humans? Not a good idea. Is your intention to make other people feel seen and heard through your story? To connect your audience with you? Is your intention to inspire and empower? Like, what is your intent? And when you share vulnerably, intent to me is everything. And so you might not know how to do this yet. You might mess this up. You might be like, whoa, I shared too much. Holy shit. Vulnerability hangover. Cool. Share that. Hey, I did a podcast. I shared a lot. I feel like I have a vulnerability hangover. Maybe it's because I haven't shared that story before. It was my first time. And, it's the first time sharing that story. And I feel a little bit like, okay, next time you share that story, you'll feel better. Or maybe you go, next time I share that story, I'm not going to share that part. That feels good. Like, you're not going to get it right unless you try it. And I tried it and I had nothing to lose. I built my whole business being vulnerable and open. And there's been some shit I shouldn't have said. 100%, of course. There's been some shit that I shouldn't have shared. Cool. But I wouldn't know that unless I did it. And if I really think about it, how can somebody hurt me? I have to allow what they think or what they say about me to hurt me. I have to allow that. I have to make a decision and go, what did I make that mean about myself? That person thinks Erica's a hot mess. That person thinks that Erica's audio shit. That person thinks that Erica's a ghetto bitch. That person thinks that Erica thinks she's all that and conceited, whatever. People are going to think all kinds of things. Some people don't listen to this podcast because I swear. Good. Swipe on. There's so many more podcasts. I'm not going to change what I am, who I am. I can't. I have to be who I am to be in service of you and to myself. But does that mean everyone's going to love you? Does that mean everyone's going to agree with you? Does that mean your auntie is not going to have something to say about your videos on the internet? Of course she is. Block, restrict, and block. Protect you at all costs. Do what you have to do to make sure that you're living in alignment with who you came here to be. And think about the people that you want to help. What do they need to hear? What would support them? I had a client once ask me, I don't want people to think that I'm not skilled at what I do if I start sharing a bit of how I feel right now. That's a balance, right? It's hard. Let's say you're a photographer and you're nervous to charge money, or you're nervous to shoot someone who's amazing and has an audience, but you're a fucking great photographer. But you're nervous as hell to shoot this person, and you're also probably lower on the pricing range, and you should up your price. So you probably have some self-worth issues going on. How do you share that? How do you share that without looking like I'm not a great photographer, I'm not responsible, I'm not good enough to shoot that high-level person? So I think, who's following you? Who's watching you? People watching this photographer could be, I'm making this up, but maybe somebody's out there that's a photographer. The people who are watching you could be people that want you to take their photo. So would it be valuable for you to be like, sometimes as I level up, I feel the fear. I know I'm good at what I do. I know I'm an award winner. I know I've got years of experience, but I hit my levels and it feels like, what do they say? New level, new devil. I'm at this next level. I'm getting clientele that's really high level, amazing clients who I've always wanted to attract. And now I've attracted them. And now I'm like, okay, here we go. It's uncomfortable. I know I got the skills, but I'm still nervous. Of course I'm nervous because I care about what I do. So if you struggle with nervousness when you come to a photo shoot, just know your photographer might be nervous as well because they're leveling up and stepping into it. It's a human experience. It's a human feeling. And we all go through it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how I would share that, right? Like, that's how I would share that. You guys, listen to me. The strategy is be honest. The strategy is be you. The strategy is be real. The strategy is not a strategy. Communicate what's going on. And if you say the wrong thing, sorry, that's not what I meant. Actually, no, that's not how I needed to say that. What I meant was, or actually, I don't know how to express it. And as soon as I know, I'll come back to you and share it. Because right now, I don't have it. Be honest. The thing is, we're trying. We're trying to be authentic. We're trying to do this. Be honest. It'll come for you when you're like, hey, I really want to share a story with you. And I had someone say to me, like, they're doing skincare but they want to talk about how they were sexually abused and all this stuff. I said, with all due respect, your audience follows you for the skincare. You have a skincare range. If you start talking about your sexual abuse, whoa, you're going to lose people. So is that appropriate for you to talk about? You got to find the right way. Maybe you get invited to speak at an event about your business and your entrepreneurial journey, about how you came from your old life to building the skincare range, and you're on stage. Part of your speech on the stage when you just come to share your story might be like, my childhood was really rough. There was a lot of abuse. There was a lot of self-doubt. I grew up in the streets. I had to learn blah, blah, blah. And then I finally joined this school. And then I learned about skincare and I built my business. I told the story. Did you see that? I didn't go, I was raped and this person. I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I said I was abused as a child. Because some of us want to tell our deep dive story that has nothing to do with what you're doing in your business, or nothing to do with what you're doing on social media or in your job or in your role or whatever you got going on. And it's because you probably haven't let that story out. That would be a therapy session. That would be with somebody who's a mentor, who you trust, who you want to release and let go. That would be a letter that you could write about your life and your pain. That's you not having alchemized your story or your trauma or your healing yet. You have to do that. Just because you have a crazy story, it doesn't mean it always relates to who your audience is and what product you're offering, what service you have, what talk you're giving on stage. It would be inappropriate for me to just get on stage and tell you my whole trauma story. If I was a motivational speaker talking about trauma and resilience building, totally appropriate. But I'm trying to teach women how to build a personal brand, how to show up, stand up, speak up, how to take up space. So I'll share pieces, but I'm not going to break down everything. There's some shit y'all don't know about my life that when I find a time to tell you, when it makes sense, cool. That's why I have the life lesson series, so I can release some of that. But you have to think about the intention. Is it for you to get it off your chest? That's therapy and coaching. That's in your own private space so you can let go of it. Is it to be of service to your client? Is it of service to the people who follow you? What are you doing it for? Is it for attention? Is it for validation? Is it so you become seen because no one's seen you? And high five, that's a real thing, you guys. We want to be seen. We want validation. We want someone to go, good job. We want acknowledgement, especially those of us who didn't get it in childhood. You want that and you deserve that. But what is the right platform for that to happen on? And it's not always zooming all the way in and sharing your open wound with people on TikTok. It might not be that. So there's a balance. There's a dance. Ask yourself, what's my intention here? Ask yourself, is this healed or is this still open wound? Okay, would this be of service to the people that I came here to help? Then share. Do I zoom in or do I zoom out? And sometimes I zoom out. I'm not always zoomed out, but sometimes I zoom out. I went and spoke at Deloitte, did a road show with them, a massive company, global company. I was pretty zoomed out, and that was appropriate in a corporate space. Still me. I still wore my sparkles and my sequins, girl. I still played my video and I was hyped and wore my hat and did my nails and all the things I do, but I was more zoomed out. Now, last thing I want to say, if you're trying to build a loyal cult-like authority following, people love you, like rah, like your audience gives you all the love you give them back, the more you zoom in, the more invested they are with you. The more you let them in, the more in they come. If you're very zoomed out all the time, it's a more professional relationship. It's more like, yep, she's cool, but they're not obsessed. They're not all up in it because we're not letting them be all up in it. Just something to think about. If you want people to get closer to you, you too have to get more metaphorically naked. You too, I believe. This is my belief, by the way. This isn't gospel. This is what I think. Doesn't mean other people might talk about it in another way. But for me, what I've seen with my own business and in my clients, the more we expose and share and let people in, the closer they come to us. The more judgment gets created, though. And the better we get at not giving a damn about anybody judging us for what we do and what we say. And this is why I take you behind the scenes. This is why all this shit gets messed up. And at my live events, I'd be like, girl, the slides might be broken. I might fall on stage. Like all kinds of fucked up shit might happen. And sometimes it does. And I kind of like it. It's part of my brand. Being imperfect and messed up is part of my brand. What if that was part of your brand? Then you don't have to be fearful of nothing and getting it all perfect. For the perfectionists out there, it's terrifying. I get it. But then you're not scared anymore. Then you're free to be who the fuck you are in the moment. Anyway, I love you so much. I hope that this episode was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you're listening and watching. Share this with somebody who needs it, and I will see you next week.